like to call this meeting of the Town Council to order. Will you please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation tonight is led by Reverend Danny Jackson, who is currently serving as the interim pastor of the Wausau First Assembly of God, and as we all know, has just finished a stellar career with the Washington County Police Department. We're glad to have you with us tonight. We'll lead us in our invitation.
I'm glad to be here. Praise the Lord. Our Father, we come to you tonight in the name of Jesus to give you glory, Lord, for blessing us with another day, Lord, and getting to see it this evening. We thank you for your life, Lord, that abides forever, and your love, Lord, that never fails. Tonight, Lord, I ask your blessing on this town council, Lord, and on our town. We pray that, Lord, everything that's going to take place, Lord, will be done in order. That, Lord, that would help me and Lord God to just do better and be a good service to us. We know that there's much taking place, many decisions need to be made. So we lean, Lord, towards the wisdom of our Father, for we know it never fails. We know, Lord, that this next year, Lord, will bring issues and things, Lord. And Father, we just trust you with that and believe for your guidance and your direction, Lord, in everything. I thank you for each of these men and women, Lord, that sit here, for all that serve. Lord, and I pray, God, your blessings on their family, Lord, and in this new year. And Lord God, of the remainder of the one we have, that Lord God, your name could forever be praised because you are so worthy of it. For these things, Lord, we ask and give you all glory and praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Our flag is under the back of the room here. Attention, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I actually did not say that, but I looked here and I saw it over there and I thought maybe we just relocated.
Thank y'all, brother. I got supper waiting on me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Okay. If you've all had an opportunity to look at the package and see the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes, and the approval of the agenda, the minutes from our last meeting, the financial reports, and the fire department minutes. And I do not have fire department minutes.
They didn't get them.
We don't have fire department minutes, okay? What's the pleasure of the council on the consent agenda?
I make a motion, we accept the agenda, consent agenda.
No second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? How you vote, Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Ms. Walton?
Yes.
And Chair votes yes. Okay, agenda audits, Mr. Tommy Smith. Come on, Tommy.
Never been to a council meeting before, but I don't know how I think everybody knows me, you know. I'm Tommy. The reason why I come tonight is the Cook-O house, was, you know, Daddy's house there, man. We're getting ready to sell it, and we run across a problem. There's a triangle. I don't know if y'all got a copy of this?
Yes.
Okay, the triangle right here is in the backyard, which is owned by the city of Wausau. It's designated Block F. If you go through a lot of trouble to look it up and find out what it is. And it was actually come about when the original plat of Wausau was made. They had a route that turned this way or something, and they had and there were like 10 or 12 of them throughout Wausau. Nobody I've come across has ever heard of them, but they're there. They're on the original plat. But this one happened to be right in the very backyard, and it comes up almost to the back porch of that house. And like I say, we're trying to sell it, and we're looking for a little bit of help to what we can do about it.
There are several of those odd lots. Some of them work the warehouse, and some of them work different things on that original plan. And some of them are just unmarked.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at the lots that's in the swamp.
And some of them's in the swamp, yeah. All of that swamp's platted over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can give a little bit of information. I checked with Margaret, and one of the issues she thinks we may have to do is on the third picture, you'll see that that piece of land is tied into the land of the Possum Palace. So she's not sure if, because that was purchased or made with a FERDAP grant, if we'll have to get permission from FERDAP to see if the town's interested, and at some point letting it be deeded back to them, to see if FERDAP has any interest in it. And also it was deeded to the town, if I'm wrong, Tommy, by the school board years ago. And one of the caveats of the deed was that it had to be used for purposes for children. And so.
I think it's got a reverter clause too in that original thing from the school board.
So, one of the things we may want to do is get Jeff involved and go, like I said, see if there's any interest from FERDAP, if they are holding any interest in it, maybe get a good title search done on it. And, to see if the school board would have any, issue with it. And then for sure, we would have to get Jeff to do something, about it. If the town is interested in me pursuing it, to be able to deed it back to them.
That's always been a strange thing, how those lots were collected, and for whatever reason, for the road turned or whatever, like Tommy said, but, so probably what we need to do tonight is see if we have an interest in letting it go back to it's not go back to that, piece of property, it's just to let it become a part of that piece of property.
Right.
It never was. It never was a part of that property. It was a lot by itself, as odd as it is. And so, what's our discussion on that, board, council?
Well, Lynn, I'd make a recommendation or make a motion that you go to course you just said, where we can deed it back to Tommy. If that's, that would be what motion that I'd make. Somebody may have a different,
Yeah,
I'm not just one person.
Yeah, that's it. You got another piece you can swap us, have you?
What's that?
You got another piece you can swap us, have you? The state and everybody else, not, if we got to swap.
Oh, yeah, I got some good ones.
That's a good answer. Yeah, if we had a swap rather than just giving it away, it might make it, more palatable to those people who might. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I mean, you know, if we need to buy it or whatever, you know, just, we got a, contract on the house. And, you know, it's gonna hold us up if we don't, get something done.
Yeah, I see.
What would you want to do yourself? Would you want to pay the town a certain amount?
Yeah, you know, whatever y'all come up with, a fair.
I ain't talking about no big sum of money, but I'm talking about
But, you know, just.
something to make you feel good. I mean,
You know, like I say, it belongs to the town and, you know, whatever it takes to get it squared away, you know.
And I think you're right, we need to let Jeff say it, because there's one thing about, when it's public property, if you're going to dispose of it, you have to declare it surplus, and then you either have to advertise for bids and stuff like that. You can't just.
If the town was gonna use it though, they got to parachute in on it because there's no access.
And when you check, would you please ask Jeff to clarify that now, because it's been a long time since I dealt with property, but what I know is wind up doing is declaring it surplus, bid it, and then somebody comes in and bids an outrageous price and they don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, we'd have to take that high price, and if it wasn't them, once we declare it, we'd have to do something with it. And as a general rule, we don't give property away, but where that is, ain't nobody got a use for it. So,
Right.
Yeah.
He asked for a quit claim in the package there. That seems like the easiest.
You know, I know, y'all ever run across that before at all? I mean, like that, there's 10 or 12 more in Wausau of the
The only
same
way,
deal.
the only way we can do it directly to somebody is on the rights of way of a road. If we abandon the right of way,
Yeah,
that portion of the right of way goes to the adjacent.
and what that was on the original plat, is where the road turned, and they just blocked the track off.
Yeah, we want to do, okay, yeah, I think y'all got it.
Is that a motion that we pursue the
Yeah, I'll make that
legal way
motion, yeah.
any legal way to help?
Okay, I appreciate anything, just keep me in the loop.
Can you vote on it?
Yeah,
Or is he not?
this is related to me.
He's not in the code of ethics related.
Oh,
He's a distant cousin or something like that. It's immediate family.
Okay, well, I'll second the motion then.
We have a motion and a second that we pursue whatever legal means we can to, dispose of that piece of property transfer.
And I just mentioned the money, I just,
Hey, like I say, you know,
I'm not gonna try to make you feel good.
if we have to do some kind of donation to the fire department or something, that'd be all right too.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You know,
We got a motion and a second.
I'm not asking for it for free, I just wanna get it squared away somehow or another.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? How you vote, Mr. Force now?
Yes.
Ms. Reinberg?
Yes.
Ms. Sheriff, yes. I know we asked a lot of things, but if he's got a contract already, speed is the essence, and, if anybody had a hash, he has to do anything, if you would make this, when you come back from Christmas,
Okay.
a priority.
I appreciate it.
We'll move as quickly as we can, Tommy.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
Have y'all noticed any difference anywhere in Wausau?
Does she need to vote?
Being I'm up here, anybody noticing any different cleaning wise?
Looking much better. Yes.
Yeah, I got somebody else gonna be back out there tomorrow and like that. I'm trying to get rid of that eyesore at that end of town.
Looks much
You know,
better.
so we're working on it.
Hey, Mr.
I
Carter.
appreciate y'all's patience with that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little bit at a time, but we're getting there.
What we've waited on is, this is not marvelous.
Thank y'all.
Ms. Carter, Judy.
Yeah,
Hey, I apologize to you for not whipping me at the beginning, and I do need to record your vote on the consent agenda, and on the, Lynn pursuing the transfer of property to, Tommy Smith. Did you hear the discussion on both of those?
I can't hear anything, Rochelle, it's breaking up. So can I just bow out?
Well, it won't give us a quorum for some of the other votes we're gonna have. We can hear you, let me try it again. Tommy Smith has just made a presentation. There is an odd-shaped piece of property. It comes off the edge of the Possum Palace property, and it comes in there near to the house where T.D. Lights live. And he's asking if we can transfer that, if he can buy it, could we get out of it? We're going to have to ask the state because it was purchased with FERDAP grant, but the vote was, or the motion was, that we ask our attorney and ask the state if we're able to let him either purchase or quitclaim this piece of property him. It's kind of like it's not in the middle, but it's got his property lines is all the way around it. We don't even have real access to it hardly, just a walk-in access. And Mr. Wilson, I made a motion, Ms. Wrightberg made a second, and the three of us have voted in the affirmative.
Okay,
And this would come, if we do it, it would come back in as quickly as Lynn can get the answer from the state.
okay, I vote yes.
Okay, thank you. And I will make sure that on the next things, I'll make sure that I try to keep you on the line, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, the next thing is the clerk's report. Can I make a request of you on that? Some of these things that we're fixing to discuss have some supporting documentations and some don't. Rather than this flipping back and forth, Could you address the things that's in the book first, and then some of these that don't have supporting, and I can give you the list of the way that they are,
Sure.
okay? Then the next thing we'll do is the CHS graduation project.
This is a request from the class of 2024 for the town to contribute to project graduation. And it's to be held, I don't see what the date, in May of 2024, and they're just asking the town for a donation.
This is one of those things we've done every year. The one thing we do make sure of is if we do it for one school, that we are able to do it for the other school. I think we've given like $100, or it hasn't been a lot, maybe a couple $100. And the only caution that I have, and the thing I see is, if we're going to get out here in the spring of the year and have a revenue shortfall, is every dollar going to count someplace? This is a worthy cause, I'm all for it, contribute personally sometimes, but, it's the project graduation at the end of school where they don't go out and they stay at these stay at the Ag Center. I think one of them maybe stays in the gymnasium or something, or in the Civic Center. And don't go out where there's drinking and driving and stuff like that.
It's a road you put in front of it.
Oh, Lynn, have we got the money to do that?
It's not.
Well, would it be I know we're getting where we can't yield everybody that comes and asks, you know, I mean, cause the town is in pretty bad shape right now financially. So, I'm just asking, have we got money to give? Or,
Well, certainly the budget's tight, and we're gonna have to start cutting down and making good strategic choices on what we spend, but, you know, whatever the council wants to do,
okay,
we'll make it work.
I think it's in the budget under, I don't know if it's benevolence or what it's called, but there's some, we usually budget some, and because it's in the budget, don't mean it's in the bank. That's the problem we get into.
you know. But I don't know, it's a good thing, no doubt about that, it's good, so, but, you know. Shirley?
I agree, I mean, if we can do it,
Do it.
do it, and if we can't, then we can't.
Ms. Carter, the conversation now is the CHS graduation project as to whether or not we're in favor of doing that. We don't have a motion yet, but the discussion is, how it will impact our budget. I think we do have budgeted, we usually do, and for a donation to the project graduation at Chipley High School. That's the conversation now.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we do it if it's, if we can afford it. At the money.
For how much?
I don't know what y'all usually been doing, I don't know exactly what they would
I
want.
don't know either.
They ask for anything, and it depends on, I think we've given them probably as much as a couple $100 before, but it's always been at least $100, which the longer you go, the less $100 gets to be, but it is a contribution.
Well, I'd make a motion to give them $100, or instead of $200, or any little bit helps, I mean, you know.
Okay, we have a motion to give project graduation a $100 contribution. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
This is if it's there, we
If-
can afford it.
if-
Okay.
How you vote, Ms. Lidenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Forsyth?
Yes.
Ms. Carter, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay?
The next one is a water bill, sorry, the next one is a water bill adjustment. It's for customer 106, it's in the backup in your book. We believe that she probably had a leak for 2 months, which is, you'll see it in the billing history, 1031 and the 1128 bill. Both of them together total $32.14. And she wanted me to bring it to the council and see if we will forgive or adjust her bills for $32.14. We went out there several times, the meter was spinning. Tim went back and put a new meter in. When we put the new meter in, it continued to spin. And then he went and checked it a week or so later, and it was back to normal. So we think I don't know if it corrected itself, or she got it fixed or whatever, but she wanted me to bring it to the council to see if you would adjust her bill $32.14.
For the pleasure of the council.
I know I had it out
You said account 106?
I'm sorry.
What was the account number?
106 is the very first thing in your,
here. Yes.
yeah.
No,
Keep going. Keep going past the project graduation.
Give over a couple of pages.
I'll do that next page.
Next page,
Just flip that page.
yeah, I got it.
It's a one page for her.
And I guess I'm confused. So what is the $30-something for? Because
Her bill, if you look under the billing history at the bottom in the middle, she typically pays the 65.24, and her bill's consistently that. But if you'll see on the billing date, on the 10/31, it went up to 84, and then on the 11/28, it went up to 78. She doesn't think she had a leak. She thinks it was an error in our equipment, or the way we read the meters, or something like that.
But when you put that new meter in and it's still spinning, that water's going to the meter. That water's going out on that other side.
It is, she just wants adjustment of $34, is that correct?
She doesn't believe she had a leak. She thinks we read the meter wrong, or something wasn't working properly or something.
And you know what we probably really need is polishing, not just a practice. Everybody comes up here, they're gonna have a reason why we need to not.
Well, I was going, we do give some credit, okay? Beginning in 2024, and I'm gonna just throw this out. Anybody that don't have paid their water bill on the day it's due, or, and we don't have a maintenance man right now, so that throws a problem into it. But they need to be cut off, and we need to make that decision to do that and charge for reconnect fee to turn them back on. And then once we get that going, we'll do away with this. That's the way I feel about it.
I think she paid, and now she paid,
She paid.
but she wants us to give it back.
That's something that I'm just talking to the council now.
Okay.
And I ain't talking to Lynn or
No,
but we are elected officials, and we should take all the blame for it. They shouldn't come in and blame Lynn or Marcy. They should blame us, and we should bear that responsibility.
I agree.
That's how I feel about it. And that's the only way you're gonna stop. What's the balance that we got with water right now, Lynn? Would you say $8,000?
It's down now to about $4,000.
$4,000
$4,000 of delinquent bills.
Well, see, we the only place that you can live in that I know, and I've been to Alford, I've been to Vernon, I've been to Chipley, I've been in all these places. We the only town that lets people get by, we're not paying their water bill. I mean, we lose a lot of money doing that,
And we've voted on that several times, what you're suggesting.
Yeah.
We voted on it, and I don't know how these bills keep getting back
I
up.
don't either.
We dropped it down one time. Shirley, was it you, or was it, Ms. Carter, Ms. Blunt? But we dropped it down one time from around $20,000 that was in arrears down to about 2,000.
Yeah.
Everybody was over the water.
yeah,
That's when you
we
go
got down
over.
to 2,000.
We got it way down,
Yeah.
and, I agree with you, that's the reason I said we need a policy and.
That's
not a
right,
practice.
and it needs to be followed up on, and then you gonna pay your electrical bill, if you don't, they gonna turn it off. And we ought to handle the water bill exactly the same way. That's my feeling on it, I mean.
And if there is any idea that we would ever give a hardship of death or tragedy, any kind of thing, we probably need to get Mr. Carter to draft us a policy that says these are the reasons you may apply something. Yeah, we don't need every time we meet to have to deal with.
That's exactly right. I mean, this should never, water bill shouldn't be something that keeps coming up every month and every 3 months. I mean, that's life now. That's what life, I mean, you just don't do that no more. I mean, okay. But now, you know, we give people all this year, we adjusted some of the water rates. So if it's $34, I'd vote to give it to her this year. But in 2024, we ought to have a policy or laws, bylaws that don't let nothing like this ever happen, you know. I'm just stating my opinion, you know.
Well, I feel like if there was an issue with it, she should have brought that to the attention whenever, before she paid the bill. She shouldn't have paid it and then one part of it back.
And being sworn to that it was not on that side and that they were not going to pay the bill. They knew this before the second bill come out, and they wasn't going to pay the first one.
I mean, that's life. You pay your water bill, you pay your light bill. If you don't, it's off. I mean, that's that simple. That's only about the simplest thing you can mention. That's simple.
But this one is not at the point of being arrears to the point of being cut off.
Yeah.
So we don't have to deal with that. Miss Judy, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I think we should give them, like if the bill is due today,
Mm-hmm.
we give them a 15-day grace period to pay it. At the end of that 15 days, it gets cut off.
Yeah.
And there's a $25 reconnect fee.
Yeah. I think that's already printed right on the face of the bill. That's already in.
Not the reconnect fee.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's printed on the bill or not, but it's something more about, can you get a bill, please? There's something on there about, a disconnect or something, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we need to add a late fee.
I do too. I sure do too. I do too.
Well, see what we got with this one here, we've got several trips, we've got labor and several trips out there. We've got the cost of a new meter, all that's on the town, and then they want us to give them $34 back. What it says, Julian, for the others, I'm just gonna read the bottom of it. It says, a $10 late fee after the 20th and cut off after the 31st.
Okay.
And we can change that to $15 late fee. It probably needs to be a separate action from the one we're talking about now, but we can change that if we need to, because labor's not getting any cheaper for us. If we have to go out there 2 or 3 times, it costs us for that to be done, so we can raise that late fee if we need to. I think we've been as lenient as we could because Wausau is still a town of primarily or older retired people and some things like that, and we've tried to consider their incomes, but we've got to stay in business too.
Well, if you think about it, Rochdale, most of the older people will pay their bill on time.
You're right.
It's the
You're right.
younger generation.
You are exactly right. So that's a good argument against mine. I appreciate that. Okay, so we do have this already on here about the cutoff and the delinquent. So we may come back and revisit this and just at a different time, or even tonight if we want to. But right now, what we want to do about it? Yes.
Who is it? Can you tell me who is it that's got this high bill that wants it done about it?
I can, and I'll do that in just a minute. Marcia's trying to tell us something.
It's been, when I asked about the cutoffs being on the bill and all, when we're supposed to actually cut off, I was told that we usually give them a month extra, because just grace period. But then when you're a month late, 2 months comes really quick. So if I would prefer, and if the town prefers, or the council prefers, if we just stick to what the card says, or maybe change the card to say what we actually want to do.
In my opinion, we need to stick to what that card says.
Or
They
change
used to
it.
be, they used to that card, and I'd stick to that card. Well, that's my opinion now, I'm just one person,
Juliet, what Marcia was saying, I think it's the same thing that you were just saying, is that it's printed on the card, there's a cutoff. But she was told that we'd give them a month grace or whatever it is. That means at the end of that month, you will have 2. That's how we get behind.
That's exactly right.
And as the billing clerk, it would be better for her and for her to keep our maintenance person who's going to be charged to cut it off and all like that. And you listen and chime in when you need to. And that's what Mr. Wausau said. This is cut off after the 31st. If that bill is not paid by the 31st, that bill cut off. And I think that's what you're saying. I think the clerk and the billing clerk both say that they think that's right. Ms.
I agree.
I just think the $10 late fee ought to go up to 25.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna lay this card down and we're gonna address the issue on the agenda now, and then I'll come right back to that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and you asked if the customer is Mrs. Palmer, and I've had several calls from her at home and things like that, and she just was adamant that it wasn't her fault, and she wasn't going to pay the bill, and numbers of things like that. I don't know whether she's going to pay the bill or not, but I'm convinced with the changing of the readings and things like that, and with the meter still spinning, a brand new meter being installed and it's still spinning, that the leak was on her side. I don't know where it may have been, but I'm convinced that water went through the meter.
Well, is it still spinning?
Mm-hmm. No, it's apparently been fixed the last word we had. Tim went back out there and it was in normal operation.
It didn't show up when I did meter readings today.
Can't hear you.
So is she gonna pay a bill now?
I didn't show a leak for her today when I did meter readings.
Okay, we read the meter today and did not show a leak as late as this afternoon or sometime today. It did not. Well, that bill hasn't gone out. It will go out today or the first of the week or something. That bill has not gone out, but I don't know how she feels about this bill. Apparently, she did pay, and that kept her water on and things like that. So she did pay. What she's asking for us now to do is give her money back.
How much is it we owe her?
Well, I don't think we owe her anything.
She asking for it back.
$34. And just as, this is not personally directed to Mrs. Palmer, this is just But when mine broke and my bill went to $89 or whatever it was, every penny of it was paid.
Right. Well,
If we're gonna have a policy, we have to paint everybody with the same brush.
right. Well, have we exposed anybody else's bill to sell a high water bill like that?
We have,
Did we do that one time for somebody?
we've done, knocked off 50% or 25% or some
Yeah.
portion of it or something like that. We've done that before. We've actually done that this year.
3 or 4 times at least.
You remember the one around here where, next to, what was it? Becky. Yeah, the man come in here, he bought a place right there at Richardson Place.
Hellers.
Who?
Heller.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, he bought a place around there where, Thomas Richardson used to live, and, he come in and he'd had a leak. Maybe after somebody had moved out and somebody else moved, he bought the place and all like that. His was several $100s at that time, and I think we gave him like a break and give him 2 months to pay it or 3 months to pay it or something like that.
We didn't take nothing off his bill though?
About 50% of them.
We did take some off his bill, yeah.
But it was hundreds of dollars.
It was, yeah, not for.
It was 800 or something like that dollars, if I remember right.
Okay, for the sake of time, can we get a motion?
I make a motion that we do not refund $34.
We have a motion not to refund the $34. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I got one more question.
Sure.
Has Ms. Palmer recognized that she had the leak? Has she found it?
I don't think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
the meter has slowed down.
Yeah, she hasn't recognized it to us, and I don't know how much hearsay it's worth, but I believe that Tim said that it looks like the leak has been fixed. And, of course, you know, Tim's not with us anymore, and we'd have to ask him to speak for himself. But, she has not acknowledged to me whether there is one, has been one, or if one has been fixed or anything. And sometimes these things are just a float in the toilet. I mean, it couldn't be a big leak because the bill is only, one bill is only $13 more than it usually is, and the other one's about $20 more than it usually is. So it couldn't have been a very big leak. It wasn't hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water that was going through there. It had to be something small.
Okay. So Shirley made the motion and John Earl seconded it?
Yes, ma'am. And we're in discussion now. I'll fix and call for the motion unless there's more discussion.
That's all I got to say.
Okay. Ms. Reitenberg? How do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Roxanne?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay.
Can I say something on this water stuff? You know, we need to adopt it, especially from here on, that it be turned off. And I don't know where you got that month from, give them a month, Marcy, but I never heard that.
It didn't come from us.
It didn't come from us, okay? I mean,
Can we create a written policy and bring it back to the council for vote? It would help us out a lot. If we have something in writing.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Gene?
Yeah.
Bring back a
I
written,
agree.
bring back, please,
Yeah.
please.
That way if it changes, it has to come back to the council for a change.
Okay,
right.
okay.
And I'll have that ready next month.
Would all of you allow me, Judy, I know that you're calling in here, and because we need a quorum on a couple of votes, there's one more that we need. Would y'all allow me to go to that, and then we can show Judy excuse at a certain time? I have seen councils and boards where if somebody has to leave, we just have to know what time they leave. Judy, would you like for us to go down a little bit and go ahead
I appreciate it greatly.
and let you bail out? Okay, it's the, I thought item number 8, it's down close to the bottom of the clerk's report where it says land use development review.
Okay, and this is the one that has the county symbol, emblem on the very top of it. It's several in the packet. It looks like this, Mr. John.
Yeah.
It'll look like this. It's in the book. It's towards the back.
Go to back?
Got the county symbol on it, or the logo.
I got it.
This is a land use certificate that's been filed by Richard Walsingham. He lives up near the cemetery to put a pole barn on the property, and he has to go through the land use sort of development review for that. And so the county sent this to us to make sure that the town wanted to approve the installation of the pole barn. And so you have the application, you have where he owns the land, and you have a drawing of basically the part of the land that it's gonna be on.
Did you hear that, Judy?
Yes.
Okay, let me, I can discuss, but I can't vote on this one, so let me give you the background. I think you probably all, as far back as when Mark was here, that I'm back probably toward the end of the summer, first of the fall. Mr. Dupree, well, sometime back, we had to send a thing down there about the property for it to be cleaned up. We are told that Mr. Dupree, who is the one who was going to build this barn, Richard owns the property, but he's not the builder. He just had to qualify because he's the owner of the property. But he was going to move his garage down next to the cemetery fence, right behind Richard's home. Nothing ever happened, nothing ever happened. Asked Denise and Margaret and Marcy at different times, would you please call and see if anything's been filed. What began to happen is that the building began to be put up without a building permit or without a land use permit. The reason I can't vote on it is that property adjoins my property, and he's actually began without permission to drive across my property off of Memorial Drive and drive across my property to get to where he's building that. And really, it ain't hurt my property, and I really don't care about that so much. I don't want it to become a public driveway to a business. Then I would care. He needed to get some poles in there, get some supplies in there, something like that. I didn't, well, but as it went on, I went and looked more closely. He has access to that piece of property off of Forest Avenue, and maybe a couple of places in there. Dawn, our county planner, said that we can, of course, we can disapprove it, but that we can approve it with conditions. And I don't want to disapprove anything. I don't want to hurt anybody, anything like that. But my concern is that that's going to become a garage, and then it's going to be stacked up with vehicles that are not running on like that. And if we've got a cemetery right there next to it and a residential area right there next to it, I don't know how much noise the equipment and everything that may be used in a garage would cause there. I don't think that, and then he'd have to go through another land use and make it industrial or commercial to do that kind of work there. That's a residential area currently. Across the road is still agriculture. That's what it was originally zoned when my daddy was still living, and as long as it's divided among the family, it can stay that. Now, if I start selling that or building on it, then I have to do something over there as well. But right now, he'd have to, if he started doing a commercial venture there, he's gonna have to change it to either commercial or industrial because of the heavy equipment and things like that, it might be probably industrial, and because of hazardous materials that he might handle, which probably would be like a lot of acid or anything with gasoline and anything that would be a hazardous material, so, and oil and things like that. So, that's my discussion, unless you ask me a question, but, that's what needs to be done. I think they've actually, the building department has actually put a stop notice on the structure now. He's got maybe all the poles erected, he hadn't started siding or putting the top on it. He's pushed up, trees and stuff, actually pushed them over on my property a little bit too, but it's no more than for me, if it fell off of the tree, that ain't hurting my property. I'm not using my property. This is not about, something like that. It's more than what do we want up there next to the cemetery and next to that residential area.
Right. Has he said that he's gonna make a commercial property out of it?
I don't,
Think that, or?
it kind of comes second-handed from one of his friends. Marcia, did we ever talk to Mr. Dupree himself?
He didn't share with me what he was going to use it for, no, sir.
Okay. Marcia said that he did not share with her what he was going to do there. And the reason that, I think that Dawn said we could do it with conditions is if we want to prevent, it from happening, we could say, we approve the land use for a barn. He may just want to park his boat under it. He may want to just park his car under it, something like that. We could approve it with conditions, and the condition would be that there would be no, garages or, commercial activity or something like that. Then he could go ahead and build a pole barn, and all, but he couldn't do the other without having to come back and us approve it. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good idea.
I know what he's talking about, so he has to go on your land to get in there, right?
Well, he doesn't have to, he currently is.
Oh,
But he doesn't have to, and we could even put conditions that he access it from Forest Avenue or something like that. We could put conditions on there so that he can still use his property, and I wouldn't want to stop anybody from using their property for legal and,
Man, you know, this is what well, somebody told me he's planning on putting up a big fence, privacy fence, you know, that separates from the cemetery, you know. But now I don't know how he goes in there. I don't know.
Well, one of the things that we got there, and this has been a troubling thing to me ever since our last water system done, there's about 4 feet on the south side of the cemetery fence up there. It's kind of a no man's land. The survey on the plat comes to a certain, well, he's got a lot that's so big and it comes to a certain place. And then the plat runs out, and the rest of that is meets and bounds description where I pick up and, well, I guess along that line there, dead or some of us owns it all the way. But there's about 4 feet, and the city's got a water line buried right up under that cemetery fence on the south side. And if I don't think we want him digging around out there and break a main line for our water system. And if he's gonna put, I mean, the privacy fence would be good, but he still can't open a garage in that residential area unless it does land use change. This is a special exception. The other one is a change of use. It's two different things. So you can put it with special exception, he can put that pole barn in a residential area. If somebody wanted to have a motor home, for instance, they could get a special exception and they could put that for their motor home or boat. But they couldn't open up a garage or a welding shop or something that's industrial in nature. And so if we
I'm just asking, are they laws against that, or should we get some advice from our attorney on that?
This is the law.
Okay,
Yeah, what they're doing now is the law. It's, Washington County does the planning for Washington County, Wausau, Vernon, Hebrew, and Cherryville. Chipley has their own planning and zoning board, but, Washington County does it for, it's by mutual aid agreement, 30 years old or something. And, so if a mobile home comes in here, they have to come here to get a permit for it. If, somebody builds a house, they has to do that, it's by the county.
Yeah.
And as far as the part about, him driving across mine, I would hope that me and him as neighbors, we could just talk about it, and I'd say, I'd really rather you didn't, but we can say in here, access is gonna come off of Forest Avenue.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that, if that's your
Well, you don't
land.
need to start it.
That's what I'm afraid of. If he ever starts it, then he's gonna have some kind of,
Yeah, we need,
yeah,
you can't,
You don't ever need to start it.
yeah.
yeah. You can't keep a person from putting a business on their property. But you can, if it's your land, you can keep them from driving across your land. And to do this, you would need some stipulations that he follows.
Yep.
All right?
But
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but you really can stop someone from putting a business on their land if it's not zoned correctly.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know nothing about that, so I ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, and this one isn't zoned correctly for a business.
Oh. Well, now, I don't know nothing about that.
It's like,
I say we just let him build his pole barn for strictly a pole barn, not for commercial or industrial reasons.
just stipulate that, we would approve the special exception for a pole barn with the conditions of, no commercial or industrial activity and access off of Forest Avenue.
Right.
Okay. And so that I'm completely honest with we can do that. We can just do nothing, we can just let it go blanket approval. I don't. If we do that, we're opening up the door like we do with the water bills. We let everybody else come in and do what they
That's
do.
true.
And I'm probably the most property rights person on the planning commission. And one of the reasons I can't vote here tonight, now if this comes back before us, I'll have to vote on it up there, so that's a conflict in interest. Okay, we need a motion. Judy, was that your motion?
I'll make a motion that we let him use it for a pole barn or garage only, no commercial or industrial use, and the access through Forest Avenue.
Okay. Now you said a garage, but that would be industrial, so it wouldn't be for a garage, it would be just for oh, you mean a garage like a car garage, not a garage to work on vehicles, okay.
Personal garage.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Personal.
personal auto storage, okay, okay. All right, do we understand the motion?
Yes,
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, Judy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Shirley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I abstain if I need to fill out a form, I think you'll
Okay.
prepare it for me?
Mhm.
Okay. Judy, if you still feel like you need to be excused, what we're going to do is note that, it's now, 5:50 and that you're leaving the meeting, okay?
Okay, that'd be great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Going back up, the next two things is, it's account 50052 and 180. These are two customers that at some point have said they do not want the garbage service in Wausau. They pay their water bill and their water bill has been paid, but they absolutely did not want the garbage. At some point, the town went and picked up the garbage cans. So they haven't had cans for a while. I did check with Jeff to see, because at some point, I guess Marcion had been told that we could not cut off their water if they don't pay their garbage. The two can't be connected together. So I checked with Jeff, I sent him a copy of the waste management contract to see if it's required that you have garbage in the town of Wausau. He did not see that in the contract. He said there's nowhere there that it says it's mandatory that you have garbage in Wausau. And so these two customers, they just continue to be charged month after month. They stay on our collections list. They've said they're not going to pay. And like I said, at some point, the town went and picked up the cans. So they haven't had cans for a while. I wanted to see if the council would suspend the service. Jeff said the best thing to do is to grant a suspension of these two customers, and then we can get them off the books.
How does that work though? Because I thought it was county mandated that you had to, look at that.
The county mandate is that if you have garbage, you have to use waste management. But you don't have to have garbage in the county. That's the way the contract's written.
Right.
I wanted to see if this contract had been written differently, and I sent the contract to Jeff. He said there's nothing in there that says that it's mandatory in the town of Wausau to have garbage. But if you have garbage, you have to use them because we're under a franchise agreement with them.
So what do they do with their garbage?
I don't know.
I mean, because we don't have a dump around here, do we?
We
I mean,
have other people in the town that do not have garbage and haven't had it for a long time.
Do
Yes, and some of them are elderly people that say that they don't generate enough garbage to even pay it, so I guess somebody picks it up, or they get somebody, got an agreement with their neighbor or something, they put it in their can. But these two customers have been on the list for quite a while. It seemed silly to me for us to continue to bill them, especially when we went and picked up the cans, that the town took the cans.
I can't imagine us doing that.
I asked before I did it.
I verified with Margie that the cans had been picked up for a while. And when I spoke to
I always
Jeff,
thought it was
Did we not-
mandatory that
did we-
everyone had.
I thought it was too. I thought that's what the big deal
I thought
was.
it was
Yeah, I did
mandatory.
mandatory that if, to use this company, but not
But I
mandatory.
always thought from the beginning that it was mandatory that if we didn't pay our garbage bill, that our water bill was gonna be cut off.
I think we all did.
That's all, I mean, that's what we've always
according
been
to
told.
Jeff, the two were two separate contracts, two separate issues. Because we asked, could we cut their water off until they get their garbage bill? He said, no, we could not do that. It's two separate things. We can leave them on here and continue to bill them every month. It's going nowhere.
I thought that when we did that contract, that we were providing we don't have sewer, but we were providing the water and solid waste, just like New York City or any place else. They were tied together,
Yeah.
and then we franchised. We didn't personally buy a truck and hire people, but we franchised or we subcontracted that, and it was all tied together. But you're saying that that's not what the contract
It's
says?
not what the lawyer says. I did speak to the waste management, our rep, he happened to come by and he and I were talking about it. And the way it's set up is that they bill the town for a bulk number. Right now, we pay, I think, for 170 something pickups. And then we bill our customers for that. So if we have, which I want to look at it next year, I think we're billing for less than 179, but we're paying waste management for 179 because we pay them in bulk. So if we're paying for that many cans and we're not collecting, we're in the negative, right from the get-go. And so he and I talked about that they will do an audit for us next year, where they'll actually physically look at every single can their driver picks up. So we can see if we in fact need 179 cans, because that's what the town's paying for now. So he was like, it doesn't matter to us if you bill them or don't bill them. We're getting our money from you in the bulk rate.
And the reason we did that is that bulk rate gives it cheaper. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I never was very good at math, but if I buy for 5 and sell for 4,
Right.
I'm going in the negative direction.
It's
And
something
that's-
I wanna look at. Another thing that's.
Please do.
Another thing that's happening, and I've seen this with my own eyes, people are dumping their residential garbage in these cans right out here.
Yeah.
I wanna put them behind the fence.
That was my next question. Can
And-
we find a place to,
There's plenty
if
of.
somebody needs a
room.
can, we can give them?
And what we can do is when we rent the haul out, drag the cans out for the rentals, and then they'll dump them on the Monday or whatever, and then I'll move the cans back. Cause I see people walking up here and dropping their garbage there. That might be how some of them are getting away with not paying.
Yeah. Well, they don't need it. Or go over to Tom Thumb, but Tom Thumb don't care if they throw it in their dumpster, I don't either.
It's a bigger issue that I wanna look at after the first, and we can do nothing on this, we can just keep billing them. But you'll see, on the first one, the garbage is only,
Did you think that it was tied together, John?
I thought it was.
I did too, Shirley.
I thought it was.
I did too. I did too.
Didn't know.
and I can get Jeff to speak on it at the next meeting if y'all want to. But I did send him the waste management contract,
You know.
get him
I
to look at
wish, I
it.
wish you would. I don't know if we would be the council, the votes would have been tied together mandatory or not, but if we're paying a bulk rate for everybody in town, we need to be collecting on it.
Because this one, the 052 is at $243 in arrears right now, and the 180 is $218 in arrears just on garbage. This is just garbage now.
Just garbage?
Okay, now you say there are others that are not. Are they not being billed, or they just hadn't said anything, or?
I think it was some elderly that just had at some point come to the town hall and said, I cannot pay it, I don't generate enough to be, and they were just taken off the list.
They're not billed.
Not billed.
If they aren't billed, then these probably should not be billed either. I think we're all surprised that this is where we are.
I asked about it in the beginning, but
But I'll tell you now, again, we talk about the elderly, and they probably are the people who pay their bills, they was raised to do that. But I used to hear this stuff about fixed income, fixed income. I was on fixed income all my life. In the 36 years of my public career, I was on fixed income from one October to the next October. It was fixed. I grant you, while I was working, it was probably fixed at a little higher rate than it is now that I'm not working, but fixed income, when I was younger and working, my expenses to live and clothe myself in working clothes and do things like that was greater than it is later on too, so,
Well, you know, I'm a senior, you know, I'm not married. Yeah, yeah, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the senior people today, and you might have a whole entirely different outlook on it. But they do better now than I even do better myself, that I have ever done in my life. They more healthcare, they more, you get a good raise usually every year, your income goes up. It may not go up much in a year, but I have never seen in my lifetime that seniors are as gets along as good as they do, and you know, and it used not to be that way. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't fuss too much as long as my social security
That's
raise
right.
keeps up with
Yeah,
my
that's right.
Medicare.
Yeah.
My Medicare raise.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, you know, we live in a good country. You know, America's a good country, so I've never seen healthcare so good for the elderly now. I'm talking about the elderly. I don't know about the young ones, so I don't know.
You know how full yours and Marcy's plate is, and I know that we're still in a transition on like that, but how quickly would it take to, like you say, review these? I'd like to know how many are not being
Okay.
billed and how many are not being
Okay.
paid, but probably tonight I'd entertain a motion that we put, there's no reason, somewhere or another, this is gonna start showing up on the audit, if it hasn't already. Sometime or another, that starts showing up on the audit, we have uncollected debt. And I'd entertain a motion that we take these two accounts off and And as others come in, I don't think we have any option tonight than to do that, but I would like for Jeff to tell us how we can
Yeah.
remedy that.
Yeah.
What you think, Miss Shirley?
I mean, if they're refusing to pay it. They don't have cans.
I was starting to say, I think where we messed up was that we took the cans.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're basically billing them for service that we're not providing the cans.
That's right.
Way back years ago when this started, the argument of our county attorney at that time, who's deceased, and others, we had special attorney, was that we're providing service, you're not availing yourself to it. That's like the light bill or the minimum water bill. You got a meter out there and you got a one minimum water bill every month. If you don't never drink a drop of water out of it, you got that minimum water bill because the service is provided, you just didn't use it. And there ought to be something here, that service is provided, but once we pick that can up, that service will be provided. Okay,
I have a question. If I, just after watching this video, if I have several customers that come and are now asking to not have garbage because they don't have to pay it, what do I do?
ask Miss Crawford.
Well, like I said, I think on these two, the problem is that we picked up the can. And yet we continue to bill them month after month. If we hadn't picked up the can, I think we would have been in a different place. But we did.
But none of this money was actually used, like, I guess, so they was not having any garbage picked up for this entire billing?
Right.
Okay.
Well, not the entire billing.
Well,
Some of
for
it is,
$243 worth.
some of it is probably back, like past due.
Yeah, some of it
And then
probably
some
is.
of it is just since we picked up the can because that was what I.
But we're not sure when we picked the can up, right?
No. Oh, well, I probably have a work order for it. I can look back for.
And we can do that if you want. We can go back and see when we did the work order to pick the can up, see how many months it's been since that and deduct that from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if we provided the service and they had a can, I think they should have to pay.
Yeah.
I can check and bring it back.
Yeah, and stay very close in touch
Okay.
with the attorney on that, okay?
All right, the next thing is ordinance 2023-03, and tonight it's just an introduction and a reading of the ordinance title, and it's an ordinance repealing the Town of Wausau Ordinance 15001, Section 5, dealing with registration and licensing of animals, and any other ordinance which requires registration of animals by the Town of Wausau. And this is the one that y'all had asked Jeff to draft at the last meeting. So this is just the first introduction of the ordinance, and then we'll do a reading and a public hearing and that kind of stuff. But he said tonight we just needed to introduce it and identify the ordinance number. That's all we need to do on that. Don't need to take any action.
I actually think you just read the title, didn't you? Do I need to do that? You just did that, didn't you?
Right.
Okay, Jeff did it. And all this does is that section on registration. It does not include, you've got to keep them under control and things like that. It just, we don't have to register them anymore, okay?
The next one is Christmas bonuses.
Wait, let's go probably in the booth. Let's not go back for it.
Okay.
Next will be Carl and Reed.
Okay, Carl, all right. In your book, I put something that I'd received from Tyler Dunaway. He's contacted me several times about paying the invoice. It was $25,000, but I did find where Margaret had made some payments on it, and I contacted him. This email is where he acknowledged that we had made some payments, and so we now own $17,222.98. But he said they're not going to be able to release the work papers of last year's audit to our new auditors until we pay the bill. So the new audit's being held up, us being able to start on it until this bill is paid. It is $17,222.98. So I felt like I needed approval from the council to pay the bill.
Well, that's 8,000 better news than I thought we was looking at.
25 to 17. You've made us aware of that now. Do we need to look at the financial thing that you're going to share later before we maybe start making some votes, or is this money somewhere and you just need us to prove it because of the amount? It's got to be paid.
It's got to be paid. I didn't know what the spending limit of the clerk was, if it's something that I could have just paid on my own, if it needs to come before the council. It's such a large amount, I felt like it needed to be before the council.
We needed to be aware of it. I think recurring charges, I don't know that we have a limit. I think we have a limit on things that you can buy without bidding. It's like $5,000, or is that right? I think it's $5,000 where we're going to buy or purchase or go out for a service of some kind. I think recurring bills we never have, but I'm glad to see you bring it to us and let us know what it is.
And I just want you to look at that one. If you want to look at the next three, because those are the three biggest ones.
Okay. Is that all right if we go ahead and look at everything that's financial and then come back and, okay?
The next one is the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust. This is the property insurance for the town that increased by 50%. The new payment, the next payment on it, which is $14,791.50, is due January 1st. So that's another bill that has got to be paid, needs to be paid next week. And then I did put in the backup with that one, how they came to that rate, and it shows you the property that they say we own and the assessed value of it.
Yeah.
What I want to do after the first of the year is go through each of these and see if I can talk with them about how we make it reduce some of the coverage, or maybe bring to the council some options for lowering some of the coverage to see if we can get the premium down. Right now it's $60,000 a year for the property insurance. So I just take that back there so y'all can look at it to see the assessment value of the properties that they assessed and how that came to be. And then the third one
I think
is,
that's good. We didn't know we had so much property.
that was worth so much.
No, we didn't know the whole town.
The third item is the flock safety cameras that the sheriff's office put on each end of town. I did talk to the girl at the sheriff's office, and they agreed that we could just pay half of the invoice. So it's just $2,500 over right now. I told her that we just didn't look like we were going to be able to do the whole $5,000, and so we'll pay $2,500 that she needs just as soon as we can get it to her, and then pay the other half around June.
Well, I didn't even know we had cameras.
One of them's right by the caution light, and it's a tag reader. It's a tag. Mhm. That the sheriff's office can read your tag any time of the day or night.
Well, I don't know.
And there's one on the other end of town, she told me.
Yeah, and I've met with the sheriff, and I will share this with you. When he came here, we agreed to participate in the program. They got to install one of the first, remember the person that was killed down on Ferguson Road, Fire Tower Road over there? They got off of those cameras, tags and things like that, and that's what helped solve that case. He told me himself that when he walked away from there that morning, he thought, as long as I've been in law enforcement, this will be the first unsolved case I ever had. And information began to come in from those, you can't hear it? I don't know what to do.
You need to turn it up towards you. Go ahead.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right.
Hold it up.
All right. But information between that camera, connected to cameras in other municipalities, is what helped solve that case.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that one, we'll just need $2,500 of that right now.
Okay.
If you want to talk about what you want to do.
Okay. If we will now, do you want us to vote on those? I think you can pay them without a vote.
Okay, yep.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Merry
As
Christmas.
long as I can pay them without, that's fine.
Do y'all want to vote on those so that the director's reflecting that we have been presented and we know what we're voting on? She can pay them without us doing it, but
It don't matter. whatever you wanna do.
I'm okay, it'll be the
Okay.
minutes
All
that
right.
we went over.
Okay, do, okay.
The credit sheet that I gave you, the Excel spreadsheet, it was laying there, it's just, I wanted you to know as of today, how much money we had in all the accounts of the bank. I'm still trying to get QuickBooks to tell me, but it won't tell me just like I wanted it to. And so, as of today, it's $41,624.73. The anticipated income, and we don't have all of our state monies in yet. 2 of them have come, but we haven't gotten them all. And the bills that are due right now is $43,163.60. We do have 2 CDs in the bank. You'll see them on the bottom of the sheet. My other option is that I could go to Carr Riggs Ingram and see if somehow we could work something out with them. I don't know with the insurance bill, if they'll let us. If I could go ahead and get her to identify some of the ways we can lower it and bring it back to the February meeting, it's just she'll let us the payment in February, or we could cash in one of the CDs, because even if we move it to, no matter when we move it, we still have to pay it. I mean, it's still gonna be the $14,791.50. We did read water meters today, so we will have water bills, water money start to come in around the first of January. I just for y'all's information, I put on there that what the health insurance was now for both Marcy and the maintenance guy. It's a lot.
That's a month?
Yes, a month. That's a month.
Wow.
And so since we don't have the maintenance guy, I just figured the clerk's insurance in there.
So right now, we're about $2,000 in the red on the bar.
In the red, if we pay all of these bills
Yeah.
right now.
Well,
You know, we do have some state revenue sharing money coming. We're fixing to start collecting on water bills again. But of course, bills are coming in all the time.
My concern is similar to my personal approach when somebody comes and if I can make a loan to them, or either come to the church and say, could you help me? And my thing is, if we pay your light bill this month, who's gonna pay it next month? I always want to help, and I'm by this. Will next month or next quarter, we will be $2,000 behind again. We don't know how quick that revenue stream's gonna come in. And I don't remember, do we get some monies from the county property tax collector's office? I know we get some mobile home tag monies or.
We haven't gotten any since I've been here. That
Yeah.
wasn't on the list Margaret gave me.
We don't have a road tax in Wausau. We don't have a millage in Wausau.
what, the 2 CDs right here, total 13,781. What do they draw on, 2% or 3%?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably not much.
No.
Could we put any money that we have someplace that would draw more?
Yeah, you could, I know a place like Chipley would, you could get up to close to 5%.
Well, I know the 10
4 or 5.
Tender Federal.
Yeah, 10 Federal.
Going 5.
Yeah, 5%, yeah.
Over the years, we've been hesitant about shopping our investments, but I think it's a good idea. Of course, most of them, to get at a higher rate, you're gonna have to have a 13-month certificate or
24 months.
24 months. Yeah, you're gonna have to commit it for a while, but
And you
Are the
know-
two CDs at the same place?
They both have Capital City.
Well, I'm sure if it's her, it's pretty low.
I think so too.
We could try to cash in the lower one, and then just kind of limp along and see where we are. And then,
Well,
next
you
month,
need,
or,
you need to keep some money, this is me talking, I'm talking too much, but you need to keep some money in the general fund to operate. I mean, you don't never know what's gonna come up, and, you always need some money in the general fund. And that's the reason we got to start tightening up,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Lynn, I mean, it's gonna be rough this next 2 years. I mean, so, that's my opinion, and I ain't no.
Have these been, on deposit long enough that we can cash them in?
I don't know the answer to that.
If either one of them's a
I can check
two-year
and see.
certificate? If you did the smaller one that you're talking about, that still gives us about $10,000 up there to leave alone or reinvest in something
Yeah.
higher if we can find it.
Yeah, right.
Or if we could find a real good one, we could cash in both of them and take $3,000 and invest the other 10. So one way or the other, we're gonna have close to $10,000 that we're gonna need to keep in interest bearing. I think First Federal one time made us a proposal that was gonna be some better interest in this is. I think we need to look at all of them. Maybe just send out a request for proposals on what interest bearing accounts that they have for municipal investments or something like that. Let everybody tell us what they can do. If we can get 5%, that beats 2 every day.
Sure does.
And this is another thing that needs action, I don't think. I mean, I'll keep working at it and plugging away with it. Unless it comes by February, we're not able to pay the insurance, and then we'll have to figure something out quickly.
Okay, this is what I think, this is my concern. You've given us this so that we know what our snapshot of today is. And we've just agreed that you need to pay, bills that actually amounts to about $2,000 more than what this shows that we have. And I know that there's always a flow that's taking place, so we're not gonna write any bad checks to anybody.
No.
So,
That's good, I like this.
I do too.
I really like this.
I do too.
It shows you, where you at, what you need to do to make it better.
I think, well, we're locked in now on the health insurance because they've already signed up. Next year, we may want to look at the town offering a set amount, say we'll contribute $500.
Definitely.
Or whatever the council wants to come up with and say, we know every year our insurance, we're gonna pay $500 out of our budget, or $600, or whatever the council wants to be. That would help having that consistent cost across there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a lot.
I worked a lot of years and didn't have any insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a big benefit for me, was the insurance. If there's any way we could look into lowering deductibles on property insurance before we take the benefit of the insurance, that would be wonderful in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of places, if you work part-time, you don't get insurance.
Yeah.
You have to be a full-time employee, 40 hours a week.
I think in our personnel policy that the 28 hours is considered full-time.
I really want to go over that personnel policy too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things in there that don't make sense to me.
Well, I'm gonna address that when we get a little later
Okay.
in the meeting. But we'll have to look at everything, insurance, services that we provide, and things like that, you know.
I think going to the purchase order system for a new maintenance guy will help. Because I randomly just get bills from places that didn't know they were charging, large bills. So keeping track of that as they purchase will be a big help, I think.
Okay,
Okay, let me see what's next. What I have
Okay.
next.
land use, we did that one, the lead service and the waste management is the last two that I thought,
Okay.
before we just go back and start over.
The lead service inventory is a new thing that's been issued by the DEP that says every town in Florida has to identify the connections, their water connections, and whether or not there's any chance that they may have lead in them. It was a federal DEP, it came down to the Florida DEP, and the Rural Water Association is actually going to manage it for them. So basically what's going to happen is we have to hire someone to go out and dig up every meter that we have. They have to look and see what the connection is and to identify if there's any possible contamination from lead. The Rural Water Association is going to be able to pay for it for towns of 3,300 or less. And so he's come to me. I've already went and registered us as a town less than 3,300, and so that we can get the money, so we can be on the top of the list to get the money. And then after the first of the year, he's going to come back with me for some guidance. I printed the paperwork off. It's extensive, the paperwork. So this is not going to be somebody we're just going to be able to hire to go dig up our lines. You're going to have to take pictures, and then you're going to have to make lists. You're going to have to go to the property appraiser and identify any house built before or after 1986. And we'll only have to dig up the meters of houses that were built before 1986. Which may be a lot of them in Wausau. Anything built 1986 or older, we won't have to dig up. But they're gonna have to go out and physically dig it up, take pictures of it, and then if it contains something that could possibly be lead, at some point we'll have to notify those homeowners. This guidance has just come out, so I just thought I'd let y'all know about it. I've had 2 or 3 meetings on it already. They're coming around very aggressive, the Water Association, to make sure us small towns can get the money from the beginning.
Built houses before 86 are gonna be most of Wausau.
That's what I thought.
I don't know about, does that mean mobile homes built prior to or installed?
I don't know. So I just want to let y'all know that is coming. It has to be completed by October 2024. So at some point, the contract for the service is going to be between the installer or the service guy we hire and Rural Water Association. So we won't have to go out, we won't have to do RFPs or go out and try to solicit. We will select the guy or girl to do the work, but they'll contract directly with Rural Water Association, so they'll pay them. So, which will be a whole lot less for us to do.
That's good. I like this.
So I want to let you know about that. And then the waste management price increase, I put it in your packet. It goes into effect January 1st. The residential rate is increasing from $16.10 to $16.97. And then on the second page, I showed you what we currently charge. And then we need to decide how much we want to go up on the bills. Right now, the extra can is $7.50, what we charge the customers, but you'll see that the second card up here is going to be $7.64 as the base rate, what we're going to pay for it. So I don't know if y'all want to go up to $8, $8.50, whatever you want the price to be. If you want to increase it all by a percentage.
Okay. The consumer price index, the first thing, the 1610 to 1697, that's for our contract.
Right.
And I did see a couple of times where it stayed level, and I don't know if I remember that it came down, but it does go up or down. It never comes down, I don't think, it stays level sometimes, but, that's about 87 cents, that's nearly $1.
The 1610 rate that we pay now, we actually charge our customers $21.80. So we pay Waste Management $16.10, we charge our customers $21.80 for that can. which is $5 and something.
So we're going up to 1697,
And him a dollar.
that's $17. And, probably on the report bills, I see. Can you tell me quickly where the garbage bill is, and the garbage part of one of these bills is?
This is the garbage. Oh, on what now?
Yeah, on one of these. Okay, I see it.
Oh,
Okay, how much is that per month? 2180?
right. This is the garbage.
That's what we bill, is 2180.
Mhm. If you want to make it easy, we could say, we could take the price that the waste management is charging us and go up and put 2% on it, 3%, or we can come up with a number. If they're charging us $16.97 and we're charging the customer $21.80, if you want to go up 20 cents, it'd be $22, or if you want $1.
I like, and I know the water because the gallonage and all like that, but I like the garbage. If we could do it this year and then just in the future, we'll go up every month to keep it even there. And I see that good at maybe 22 or 23. And then the only fluctuation will be more water.
You know, I mentioned this before. Are we, the town of Wausau, I noticed a check was paid to Earl Register for $1,700. Is that what we paying him now?
Yes, we have to have an operator. We have to contract with an operator, and he's the town's operator, and it's $1,700 a month.
Well, you know, I knew that come up at a meeting, and we voted not to give him a raise till the new budget started. And, you know, he was wanting $100 raise at that time. Town was already paying him $1,600. How did that go up without the vote of the council? You know, I mean, I don't remember voting on that. Maybe I hadn't been out but one or two times out for. Or how could that $100, and we voted not to do that, but I just noticed that check for $1,700, and we used to pay him $1,600, you know.
But we are in the new budget. This is in the new budget.
Yeah, I know it, but I'm saying, I don't remember voting to even give him a raise of $100. Oh, I don't remember that ever.
I remember the discussion, but I don't know if we had a vote on it or not. You're right, I don't know.
I can check the minutes, let you know.
Can you do that?
I can check
Because,
the minutes.
you know, I think we're paying too much anyway.
I also think part of
I'm
that-
just telling you that, we can do better from this. We can do better than paying him $1,600 or $1,700 a month. Cause they do it at Alford, and Alford's bigger than us, it just costs them $800. I mean, I've been checking around.
Yep.
And that's too much to be paying.
I think-
Him, Earl Register, for $1,700, but we in a tight now, I know that, we ain't got the maintenance, and I just think we can do better than that.
I think, John, at the same time, didn't we discuss at the same time? Did we discuss at the same time that, about advertising for an operator?
Yeah, we were gonna get some figures.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know
and I don't remember
if we ever
nothing.
done that, but, I'm pretty sure we voted on it.
Yeah, to get you, to check around, I just brought that up now, but I mean, I don't remember voting to give him that extra $100 raise. Because when he come in and wanted it, at that meeting, we voted no, you know. And you said, mentioned wait till the next budget year.
Yeah.
And I don't remember voting to give him extra $100. Of course, to me, it's too high anyway, what we pay him.
Yeah. Would you please check on that and let us know, and I know that I think that, the horse market issue will always be available. Sometimes her memory is much better than mine might be, but, you know,
Okay.
you may check with her on anything, but I think that the sooner we're, don't have to depend on her, and I know she doesn't mind it perhaps, but she may remember all that, because I don't remember us voting.
I don't remember
us
all
voting on
that
that.
now, I mean.
But if you find it in the minutes, then that's just as good, if
Right.
it's something,
Yeah.
it's something you can do. Okay. So on waste management, we don't have anything to, that's just FYI.
No, I need you to set the rates. Unless,
I mean, the raise for them is.
Oh, yes, right.
That's just
Right, right.
FYI. So we
Yes.
need to set, our rate is now 21.80.
yes. So we're gonna increase.
Now, is, this one of those funds, is this one of those funds that any excess funds can be transferred to another department? What you call them funds, not capital funds, but, there's some things that you can't transfer, like our transportation trucks, that can't be used for any, that can't be transferred out and used for anything else. But there's some of these that, like if the water system makes money, or this makes money, we can use that into general revenue. It's, I think, it's,
Right. And we-
it bears, because that'd be a place with us not having a tax, that'd be a place that we could help our general revenue fund, so.
And in the water and garbage, we pay almost all the expenses of Tim. He helped his expenses come out of there. Of course, the waste management bills come out of there. And we do move money over for salaries into the general fund from water.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we got to set the new rate. This is what it's gonna become, us to them. We just got to set how much is it costing us to collect and manage.
Right.
Well, I don't have a problem with us going to it's 21.80, if we went to $23, would that be, they're gonna go up $1 themselves, so we're really just gonna go up about 20 cents if we went to $23.
Is that enough, or should we do a little more?
Well, I'm open to some more, but, it may be like, as old as this is, Mr. Carter, a while ago suggested that 10 become 25. It may be time for this to become 25. And the truth of the matter is, I can't drive from here to Hamilton and take my garbage off at $25 a month.
Because you paying for your gas, and then you gotta pay to dump it.
You've got to pay to do.
But you're gonna see a lot more come in, now I'm gonna tell you this, you're gonna see a lot more come in and do away with that garbage. I mean, you're gonna see that, cause we let them two do it right there, I mean, you're gonna have some come in now and say, I don't want that garbage no more. And this is on air, everybody's live, it's live, people are listening to it, and you're gonna have some do it, I mean. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what's that, you.
And if we lose enough, we may have to, get out of our contract with waste management, and then everybody have to take care of their own. We can't lose money to provide.
No, you can't.
We
You
quit
can't
doing,
lose
we quit doing recreation because we couldn't
That's right, I mean,
lose money on it.
At $23, we would collect $7.03 per can towards the cost of doing business. At $25, we would collect $8.03. Right.
Every night. You say 703 at $23,
Yeah, right.
so $25 would be
17.
903, be $2 more. There you go. That's,
Well, it has to be two.
Let me get out the calculator. 25 minus 1697. How to use this phone. 1697. Somebody could probably do this better than me.
23 be $6.
7, 10, almost 8, 9, 15. It seems right, but it don't seem right.
Yeah, 17 and 6 is 23.
5 minus 16, 97.
17, 8 is 25.
Oh, here it is. 803. 803 for 25. And 23. Oh, 603.
Yeah.
To be 603 and 803.
We consider the time to print, to replace cards, to send out the bill, the postage and everything like that. $8 is not lots of money.
Mm-mm. It's not.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the council?
And when would this start? January 1st?
Yep. Well, that's what our increase is. Our January 1st.
So are you thinking that it needs to be more than that?
More than the,
More than what we're talking, the 803?
well, I think it needs, I think probably it needs to be at least a 25. And, that'd be $8 more than we're collecting. This, the 23 would be $6 more. Right now, we're only doing 5 and we're not getting ahead. We get ahead probably a little bit, but we're not.
Right now, our price is $5.70 above what we're being charged.
570.
I mean, nobody likes to pay more, but, you know, sometimes you have to.
If we don't change our price tonight, they can go up 87 cents. I mean, we won't collect $4 or something more than we are. We can hold this to January when we've got the full council if get some more input if we need to. We don't have to raise it now, but I don't think we can go through the budget year without us having to
Let's
raise
do
it.
that. Let's wait till everybody else is here.
Got a motion to table.
Yes.
We've got a motion to table, is there a second? Second. Any discussion on the motion? Ms. Walksnail? Yes. Ms. Rattenberg?
Yes.
And Ms. Jacobs, yes. We'll table that one then.
Okay, let's see what else we got here.
We'll be near there.
So we'll jump back up.
Yeah.
The Christmas bonus, The employees wanted me to ask the council about a Christmas bonus. Of course, at that time it was Tim and Marcy, now it's just Marcy.
I personally don't see where we can really afford to do that this year. I know we always have in the past, but I don't see how we can do that. But that's just my opinion.
As long as I can remember, we've always given an annual raise and a Christmas bonus. And this year the raise was very minimal and to the point I didn't know if we could even give a raise or not. And again, for what it's worth, we were 8 years one time between raises in our county budget, things like that, but, and again, this is only as a point of reference, not that you have to do the way the woman is. She brought a proposal, she knew what the budget would stand, she brought a proposal that would recommend this amount. Have you, I don't know if you were aware of that or if you,
No.
you know.
I didn't even know they got Christmas bonuses just a few weeks ago. I didn't know they got Christmas bonuses just a few weeks ago.
The employees included you as well, or included Margaret as well, so it would not just be Tim and Marcy if there were bonuses, they would include yours as well.
Well, I haven't been here that long, I don't care about it.
Well, yeah. Is that a motion not to do bonuses this year?
Yes.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion on the motion? Mr. Wilson, now? Yes. Ms. Reinberg?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
Okay. The grant project
That's,
update.
just commentary on that hurts as bad as most anything we'll do, because this will be the first time that I ever remember us not doing that, or certainly for many, many years we haven't done that. Okay, go ahead.
The grant update, John Sims with Dewberry's gonna be here next month to give us an update. At least 2 of the projects, we got our environmental assessment in, and we think we're gonna be pretty close to being able to RFP for the contractors, hopefully. But he's gonna come next month and he's gonna give you an update on every single project that we've got going on.
And because those updates sometimes come so infrequently, I asked Lynn, and she can do it with me or she can do it with the council, but I'd like to have some more on the, I want to know what's going on, possible about Snake Hole, Jefferson Street, Jackson Street. We got 5 or 6 grants out there, water thing.
I think that's a good idea.
So,
Yeah.
so an update every month. I'd like to see that Rogers Square I'd like to see it take off and we start renting it for places rather than some other shit at City Hall.
Right. The next thing is the office hours. I've also printed out you a sheet on that. I know our office hours are 8 to 4, but right now, we're not staying open to 4 very often. And so I made some proposals for some different hours that the council wants to try to change the office hours. With both paid and unpaid lunches. Tim was being paid for his lunch, but the deputy clerk has not been paid for her lunch. And so I think with Tim, that was always kind of a source of contention. And at the last meeting, my directive is that y'all wanted the employees here to 4 o'clock. But it's just not working out that way. And so if we can do the office hours from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I gave you how that will work with a 30-minute paid and unpaid lunch. Because of Marcy's schedule, her children, she's not able to be here at 7 in the mornings. So I gave you 8 to 3. If she can work 8 to 3 with a 30-minute unpaid and a 30-minute paid. I gave you 8 to 4 with a 1 hour paid and 1 hour unpaid, and an 8 to 4 with 30 minutes unpaid and 30 minutes of lunch. Right now, she's working 28 hours, so if you want to keep the hours the same, under these scenarios, our options are 8 to 3 with a paid lunch where she would just stay here and she wouldn't leave. Or 8 to 4, well, 8 to 4 with 1 hour unpaid lunch. But because of her husband's work schedule, she's not able to stay till 4 most days. Or an 8 to 4 with a 30-minute paid lunch is still 7 hours a day at 4 days a week. If we do the 8 to 3, we can open the office 7 to 3, and I can be here at 7. And then she would just come in at 8, we would still stay until 3. Or she would stay until 3. But I need some clarification from the council on exactly what we need to do.
So you're saying every day you would be here at 7 and stay until she gets here at 8 on?
I would say from 7 to 12, because I work 5 hours a day. Yeah, I work 5 hours, but I'm only getting 20 hours. So I get 20 hours. If you want the office open 7 to 3, I'll have to come every day at 7, stay to 12, she'll work 8 to 3.
That's a 4-day week.
That's a 4-day week, and that's 7 hours a day. If you want to continue not to pay for the lunch, which is what we're doing now, on the 8 to 3, it would cut her hours to 26. So that's kind of what I need. If you want to keep the hours open 8 to 4, then Marcy said she needs to be paid for her lunch if we're going to do it 8 to 4, because she'll have to get after school care for her children. Is that right? I don't want to speak out of turn. She'll need to get paid for her lunch so that she can.
I thought the paid lunch hour was because they had to be certified to keep inmates.
True. That's what I
They
understood.
would send Marcy to school to be certified to keep inmates.
Well, Tim said he wasn't gonna watch inmates anymore before he left.
And whatever we do.
And that needed to stop when he quit watching inmates.
Right. Whatever we do here is what I want us to do when our new maintenance person comes on, so that everybody's doing the same. We know what the office hours are. You know, that's one of the big sources of contention was, what are the hours? What are you working? What do you need to work? And do you get paid for your lunch? Do you not get paid for your lunch? Can you leave at 3? Can you not leave at 3?
One of those that never get to the council.
And also, I was under the impression that we had 2 15-minute breaks. I don't know if that's just the policy or if that's law. I don't know what the laws are.
Well, I don't know the Fair Labor Standards applies to this, I don't think, but, and the personnel policies, if it's not saying what we wanted to say or doing what we want to do, we can rewrite that. We can make it do what we wanted to do. That belongs to us.
I think right now, you don't get paid for your lunch, right? So she doesn't get paid for her lunch.
So what are your hours now?
On days that I don't have to pick up the children, I work 8 to 4 and I take a 1 hour unpaid lunch. On days I do have to pick up the children, I skip my lunch, I sit at my desk, answer the phone, take payments, all that, do a working lunch, and leave at 3.
I just think what would work out best for y'all, I mean, I don't know if you need to open this building at 7 o'clock or not, I don't know. I'm just asking, I mean, I don't really know.
As you said a while ago about everything, it starts and stops here.
Yeah.
What we need to do is a policy.
Yeah.
If we let somebody said one time, the tail don't wag the dog, we need to tell them boys what,
Yeah.
and them not tell us what.
There's no way I can be here at 7, I don't even have access to childcare that early.
And I just think we need to have set hours, because we have people come, we
Yeah.
have deliveries that are coming, we're not
Yeah.
here, we're here, we're
Yeah.
gone. I think it looks bad on our town. I want us to look professional and have our hours, and be here.
Right, right.
And it doesn't matter to me what they are. Y'all tell me what you want, that's what, we'll work it out. But I feel like we can't just like be here and not here and doesn't matter.
And the hours are now,
8 to 4.
and 4 days, we got, what, 28 hours?
28 for her and I'm working 20.
You're
I was
working
hired 20.
And maintenance was 40.
He was
but-
40 with a paid lunch.
And when the time comes, we may could move that one back some, I don't know. If somebody ain't here till 4 o'clock, or if somebody's not here on Fridays,
A lot of customers now are doing online payments. The online payment has really taken off, where they, pay their bills online. We do still have a good amount that want to walk in the door and pay their bill. We have some that call us, we take their credit card over the phone. So,
We've had a lot of customers that really, really, really want the automatic draft payment. And the water system that we use is El Dorado. They have a new, and I didn't bring it this month because we had a lot on the agenda. But I got a quote for an upgrade on the software that we use, which will include the ability for the customer to go onto a portal, set up their automatic draft, and it also has some other nice features. And I can bring all that to you next month, but that will be an option in the future that a lot of customers have asked for, and that'll help with.
A lot of people have asked for that.
Yes.
on that automatic draft, does it draft the same amount every month, or will it draft the amount of the bill?
I believe it is the bill amount.
Okay, I think that's the problem we had,
that's
we always
interesting.
had our garbage cut off at the church, because we had set up on automatic draft, and they didn't draft, and then they told us they were gonna cut it off because of she said it was automatic draft, she said, yeah, but you didn't tell us how much. You sent the bill, so, okay.
I'm 99% sure that with the system being integrated into what is being automatically drafted, that it'll be for the amount in the bill.
Okay, so this is gonna be everybody back to 4 days a week.
Other than
You'll
10, we've
be-
never gone to 5 days a week.
You'll be
10.
here 4, and she'll be here 4. We just got to make the hours work now, okay?
Right.
Okay,
There's really no way we can overlap and get 5 days a week. Well, I mean, I guess we could if one of us worked half a day on a Friday. But, at the last council meeting, it was the pleasure of the council that we work 8 to 4, and that's not working out. That we can keep it at 8 to 4 if you want.
okay, and that's not working out because you only work to 12 and she can't work beyond 3.
I stay to 1 now. I mean, I stay to 1 now.
Yeah.
But with Marcy not being able to come in at 7,
It's a sign of good
and not being able to
leadership.
stay to 4, my only other thought was if we maybe work 7 to 3, I'll just try to be here at 7 every day. Well, I mean, I'll be here at 7 every day. And it'll cut me back.
In your office traffic, do you get more in the morning or in the afternoon? If you're here at 7 o'clock anytime now, or are you coming in at 7 now?
Yeah, they don't usually start coming in until about 8, 8:30. The afternoon traffic's slower,
Okay,
the morning.
there's more in the morning?
Mhm.
So staying to 4, we're probably not necessarily cutting out of late pay or anything like that. I'm thinking about, when I was asking about 5 days a week or asking about to 4 o'clock, I'm thinking about people that gets off in the afternoon and to come by and pay their bill. But it sounds like the bills are being paid whether they come by or not.
Yeah, they're utilizing the Dropbox.
Yeah,
People are calling in, we're taking their credit cards over the phone.
Well, that's a big help.
There you go.
It sure is.
I don't feel like anybody's not getting their bill paid because we're not here on Friday. But whatever y'all want us to do, we'll do.
okay, now, 8 to 3, That's 7 hours.
Right.
So you'll be getting 6.5 hours of work.
Yeah, because you're gonna pay for a 30-minute lunch.
Okay, when you say a 30-minute paid lunch, again, you remember the county, they gotta pay for their lunch and got to leave the properties.
Right.
So we've got 7 days, we've got 7 hours of work out of them. So is this gonna be 30 minutes paid lunch and she's gonna sit at the desk and work like she said a while ago? Or is this gonna give her a chance to leave the properties if she wants to?
I think with the paid lunch, she's gonna have to stay. She'll have to answer the phone and
Yeah.
stuff
So
like that.
that paid lunch becomes the same thing as if she was watching an inmate. You can't leave them unattended, so the paid lunch means you can sit here and eat at your desk, and is that what you think? Is that what you
fine
think?
with me, that's what I've been doing.
I don't know, I mean, I just don't, on this, I don't know, anything to me that, I know that they follow our advice and stuff like that, but something that would work out for both, to keep them happy, or, you know, I don't know, I don't know how,
I think-
anything y'all wanna do, I mean, y'all.
I think we would probably, and again, I haven't been to some of those in a long time since I retired, but small towns, you're gonna find some that works, till noon and closes every day. You're gonna find some that works 3 days a week, and something like that. So I don't think the demand for us to be, I'm probably changing my position some, but the demand right now for us to be here is not the same thing as it is on the courthouse or the bank or something like that. So, and you know, places like Public Works, they closed on Friday, they 4 days a week.
Yeah.
You always got.
Most places are now, I mean.
Now, if we stay at the 4 days a week and work something out here, you'll both still be, receiving calls from us when there's emergencies. All those things don't change. Nothing changes about that.
Right.
If we replace the maintenance person, then we're going to go back to 4 days on that person with the same hours,
If
with
that,
the same understanding of being on call.
call.
That's gonna save us some money, that's gonna save us a week's worth of wages every month if we do that. When that time comes, we can always discuss that, but, Ms. Shirley? Thoughts or comments?
Not really. So they're basically working 8 to 3 already.
Mm-hmm.
I guess keep doing what they're doing, 8 to 3 with a 30-minute paid lunch with the understanding that she stays at her desk and answers the phone, takes payments or whatever.
Would that be a motion? And I'll make a motion can we appoint a co-chair or something like that, would you suggest? And I haven't made a motion tonight, but I don't, if that's a motion, we just, I'll need a second or something.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'll make a second.
Okay, motion and second, any discussion?
Did that, can y'all handle that? I'm gonna ask that question.
I can be here anytime, I don't have children.
We-
so-
yeah. And we know that you're not as,
Yeah.
you're doing a lot more for us than probably we are for you, but, okay, any discussion on the motion? Ms. Reinberg?
No.
Ms. Walsall? I'm sorry, I'm calling for a vote now.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. I thought I did. And the chair votes yes.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And then the only other thing I had was the maintenance position. We want to advertise or,
Have you got any applicants yet?
I had one application of someone that looks promising.
Okay.
But now, we haven't really put it out there. We've
Right,
only put it in
you
the
gotta
newsletter.
advertise it,
We've only
yeah.
put it in the
Yeah,
newsletter
yeah.
and, haven't really advertised for it.
Are we gonna need to come to a special session and hire that person, can that wait another month? If we have breakdowns, what are we gonna do? We know that, we think we may know that Tim or Dave might not come back. They both said that we'd call them, but
Yeah.
we know they may not come back, so if we have something major that breaks down, are we gonna need to have a maintenance person sooner than later?
We need one, because we've got work orders in there backing up.
You know, and you have located the contractor, they pretty soon we can start moving our water lines, and we're gonna need that person. Do we need to discuss, it hasn't been that long ago, we looked at a job description and it's pretty inclusive, but do we need to discuss, anything to put in the advertising that might change that position? Can we have that truck and everything GPS by the time somebody new comes on? That, if we're gonna do that, they need to come on and having everything in place. If they're going GPS, and you answer to this. If you're gonna work orders, you answer to this. If you're gonna be purchase orders, you answer to this. They need to come on knowing that that's what we expect out of them.
Right now, Joe's been volunteering to help with maintenance. And my brother-in-law's been helping with maintenance. I've got 2 leaks right now that is bubbling up pretty good out of the water, out of the ground. So,
Well, we were paying Tim a salary, he made a good salary. And, if you got somebody that you can call on, I'm sure the town could pay them as much as they could pay. They could get paid for doing it. And, cause if you didn't, we've been paying somebody else to do it, so. So, I think if you got somebody to call on that you know, or some of us know, and pay them for hours they put in, or, that ain't nothing but right to do that now.
We did have a list, I don't remember anybody's name that might be on now, except Thomas Richardson. He helped a lot of us. I'm not sure, maybe Dion Goodman did some, but Dion's helped and may not let him anymore. But Joe and John and, somebody else that you have to call on, I'd expect them to be paid. We paid the buzzers when they come out, helped, so.
Just keep up with the hours and pay them.
I did call the Rural Water Association, and they sent somebody out today to do the line locates for me. Because under the Sunshine 811, we only have a certain amount of time that we're supposed to get them or ask for an extension. But with Marcy off, I didn't know how to ask for an extension. So he did come out and locate some lines for me. So, and he said he could do that as long as he had time to do it, and that he could help, teach somebody when we got a maintenance person. So.
I'd like for us to advertise, I mean, that's the next logical step. I don't even think we have to put on that, just, go ahead and advertise and use the job description that we have.
Do you want to run for 2 weeks?
This is Christmas and New Year's, I say run 2 weeks, because you're gonna lose a couple of days.
Okay.
But now, Lynn, and like I said, I won't say it again, but it's anybody like Joe or John that does things, pay them, gotta pay them. It ain't nothing but right to do that,
Can I just speak to that?
Okay.
I just wanted to say, and neither John nor I, we're not worried about the money. I hear what you're saying, and we're good. Because we're limited to what we can do. One of the things that I'm personally concerned about and that I want to make sure why we might want to establish a formal relationship, and that is, liability, and like I am covered under the workman's comp already because I'm a firefighter, member of the fire department, so I'm covered from that liability standpoint. But I'm just concerned about, literally operating a drill. Is that something we can, does that make, I'm just trying to figure out, if we just need to make sure we say, okay, we are going to let volunteers do this. I'm just trying to make sure that we agree on something that
And I don't know.
protects you I'm not worried about it, but protects you.
Yeah, okay.
And that's good. And I don't know that you can, but I think one time and maybe it's something I asked Mark to do, but if we get that list of people and we call them OPS, it'd be like firemen. They're OPS, on call as needed, and we put them on the workers' comp.
And that might be the right.
And I think that's what we need to do. And that's the thing I keep on kind of saying, let's get a list of people we're gonna do.
Right.
Because, and
You need something to say, these are the people.
Appreciate y'all's attitude, appreciate your heart, but you're down there and a whole caves in on you, and you got families, and you got families and things like that, so we can do that. You may call the insurance or Mr. Carter and ask him, raise this question to him and all like that. Okay,
And I think that's all I had.
that's the last thing. Ms. Reinberg, anything?
Next month, when we come back, can you have us like the people who are past due on their water, have that in our books and we can just kind of look at it?
Right, okay.
Good idea.
Yeah,
And that's all I have.
Mr. Wolfson?
I'm fine. You know, I think I've said too much tonight, but I'm okay.
I think it's been good, yeah. I can hold this one, yes, I'll put it down there, but has any of us had a chance to begin to look at our charter or personnel policies or ordinances? They fixed us that book.
I have been looking at them, yes.
I've been looking at mine and making some notes. I really, really think we need to, by the spring of the year, look at that thing. We had a judge one time, we got sued and we lost the suit. The judge said, who better to obey the law than them that make it? So we've got some things there that we're violating our own policies and things like that. We need to.
Hey, one question I want to ask, to the mayor. As councilmen and mayors and office workers, can we meet sometimes to just have a meeting without that thing on? And is it against the Constitution to do that, town ordinance to do that? We could talk more and bring things out with that being on the air and for the good of Wausau. Is that against the charter or anything? I don't know.
My opinion, it's not against the charter, but if we, more than two of us meet together, two or more of us meet together, we do have
Sunshine law?
sunshine. I just done the ethics thing last week. It says that me and you can go to lunch together, we can go fishing together, we can go golfing together, but we can't talk about city business or town business while we're out.
Right.
So, now as far as having the camera presence, we're not required to do that. We are required to notice the public, and then if they show up, not only Mr. Goulding, but somebody in the public can show up with their own little mini cameras and recorders and like that.
Yeah.
So,
But you ain't required to have that on, like if the town called, huh?
we can have a workshop and we're not.
That's what I'm talking about, a workshop. That's what
We tried to do workshops a few times a few years ago, and I really think they would have our meetings not last so long and like that. But it's just what's the last long meeting is to have two short meetings, so I don't hope what you.
Yeah, I just wondered, I didn't know the answer to that.
The other thing I had that I want to talk about was personnel policy, and we can discuss it later on, but this sick leave thing, right now it's kind of taking care of itself, but we need something, I think, when we rework our sick leave policy. If, we've had a situation lately where in 2 weeks, we have about 2 days work or 2 days present. We miss Thursday and Friday, and then you miss again on Monday and Tuesday, you miss 4 continuous work days of work, and we've had, that may not be the exact sample, but that's close, I think what we've been looking at. And I think that after the second day, or after 3 days in a month, 4 days in a month, something like that, after a while, we need to start saying you got to bring a doctor's certificate or something like that. I'm satisfied that when we pay out, we don't have any leave on the books for Tim, and we may not have any annual leave. We won't have any sick leave, I'm sure, and maybe not much annual leave. And if we need a maintenance man, we need a maintenance person. If we need somebody, we need them, and we need them to be showing up and working. Yeah. So that's, and then the last thing, these trees out here on the north side of the station, I believe just about every one of them is dead or died. I wonder, could we contact either the Ag Center or maybe the Forestry Department? I think originally they helped us to get these trees, but they sat above ground in a bundle, not planted for a few days. They was already wilted, withered when we got them planted. I wonder, could they help us to replace those trees and maybe even help us to with some maintenance on us, or tell us how to keep them up or something like that. I think those trees, if we don't do that, we just need to pull them up. We don't need those dead little scrubs out there, I don't think. And is that something that y'all can make some calls for us on that, please?
Sure.
That's all I have, unless we want to talk about Mr. Carter's proposal, or we'll do that when we've got the whole council here, because we are talking about an adjustment to fees and things like that. We want everybody to vote on it.
Yeah, let's save that till everybody.
Would you also bring us a sample card back
Okay.
next month as well? Okay. Anything else from the council?
Well, now, I was just gonna tell Lynn, I like this right here. and,
Okay,
you
that
know,
helps you?
That helped me out tremendously right there, that
Yeah, I
page
like
right
that too.
there. And, that's the way we know what we operate on, what we need to do.
Correct. Okay.
Okay? All right, we stand adjourned at 7:16. And I really was not surprised.